Today we're going to do a little flight in the Cessna 182 Classic Steam Gauge Edition out of Naples, Florida. We're going to fly IFR to Opa Locka, KOPF. So I've already done my presetting of my external windows here. There's no need for anybody to suffer through that with me. So now we're going to start this up and go through a checklist and get ourselves in the air. So, checklist. Parking brake. Set. Ignition off. Avionics switch off. Battery switch on. Fuel quantity indicators good. Low fuel annunciators off. Avionics switch on. Avionics cooling fans audible? Nope, because it's not working in the game. So, and this is directly out of Asobo's checklists. Avionics switch off. Static pressure alt valve. Go off. Annunciator panel test. Have to do that from here because there's no command to do it externally. Good. Flaps down. Battery switch off. And elevator trim is neutral. It's okay. So then this would be the external pre-flight inspection part. Obviously, we're not doing that. So let's move on to electrical equipment is off. Avionics switch off. Fuel selector to both. Fuel shutoff valve on. Throttle open 1/4 inch. Should be about there. Mixture idle cutoff, prop area clear, except for that guy who's probably going to get chopped up, well, depending on which way they send me to taxi. Battery switch on. With that, I get my panel lights on as well. Beacon light on. Mixture rich. Auxiliary fuel pump on 3 to 5 seconds. We have fuel flow off. Mixture lean. Feet ready to brake. Ignition start. And mixture rich when starts. It's okay. Successful start. Okay, throttle 1000 RPMs, already there. Oil pressure, check. Alternator on. Alternator indicator is off on the annunciator. Ammeter is check. Avionics switch is on. Radios come on with it. Transponder standby. Flaps up. Heading indicator I'll set when I get a heading. Altimeter I will set when I get my ATIS. Attitude indicator looks good. So okay, so now let's get radios and stuff going. First thing to do, bring this up and switch to 25 kilohertz spacing on my radios, because otherwise it's painful on 8.33 kilohertz mode. It says 25 kilohertz, but it isn't until I select it. I'm using the Scorpion Films GNS 530 mod, by the way, for this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. That not saving the radio spacing is probably the only thing that I have that kind of peeves me about it. Otherwise, you could use the real GNS 530 as a guide to use either of these, or 530 or 430. So okay, let's get our radios set up. First, we'll get our ATIS, which is 134.225. There we go. Turn radio on. Channel 2. Oh, I think I made a mistake here somewhere. Naples ATIS 134.225. I am on 134.25. I went one too far. There we go.
Naples Airport information Kilo 21000. Wind 215 at 25. Visibility 10. Sky condition. Few clouds at 600 feet. Few clouds at 4,000.
Clouds are useless.
Few clouds at 12,300 feet. Temperature 27. Dew point 10.
2 points off.
0.01. Visual runway tree 2 in use. Landing and departing runway tree 2. VSR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Kilo.
Well, good. We have information Kilo. So now let's switch to clearance, which is 118. Yeah, 118.
Naples clearance delivery Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot IFR to OPA Locka ready to copy.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is cleared to OPA Locka Airport as filed. Takeoff runway tree 2 climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.125 squawk 0545.
TX 0545.
Naples clearance delivery generic November 8 Niner Bravo Tango IFR to Naples ready to copy. Generic November 8 Niner Bravo Tango is cleared to Naples Airport as filed. Takeoff runway tree 2 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure frequency is 124.125 squawk tree 514.
Clicking my button so I can get in there with my reply.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot cleared to OPA Locka Airport as filed. Takeoff runway tree 2 climb and maintain 7,000 feet. Departure on 124.125 squawk 0545.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot read back correct. Contact ground on 121.6.
Okay, 0545.
Generic November 8 Niner Bravo Tango cleared to Naples Airport as filed.
It's not working right.
Runway tree 2 climb and maintain 10,000 feet. Departure on 134.75 squawk tree 514.
05.
Bravo Tango readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.6.
0545. Okay, I'm just going to use my Stream Deck for this. This is like broken. And it's not Air Manager that's doing this, it's the game itself, because any transponder you're using will start doing this at some point. Sometimes it works fine, sometimes it just messes right up. So this isn't ideal as of quite yet. Luckily I have my Stream Deck set up to do this, so it's it helps a lot. So okay. So taxiing, so I'm going to put my nav lights on. So, I forgot, So contact ground 1216.
Naples ground, Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot with Kilo ready to taxi IFR.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot taxi to in hold short of runway tree 2 using taxiway. Contact tower on 128.5 when ready.
Not very good instructions using taxiway.
Via taxiway Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Usually they give instructions here. I think that this got broken in the update again. So I'm going to get ready here. 1285.
Hold position, generic 9
And I'm going to do my run up right here. I'm just going to get myself turned around. Make sure that my instruments are working, brakes are working. I don't expect that they wouldn't. I still need to set my barometer too. I should have done that right after I was given my barometer settings. Come on. Barometer was 3001. 303001. Okay, notice my heading indicators, compass, and everything all working as required. So, run up, parking brake, flight controls, of course. I know that I'm not going to interfere with anything. Flight instruments are now set. I'm just going to put 3-2 on that because that's my takeoff runway. Set it runway heading, fuel indicators, quantity indicators check, mixture is rich, fuel selector on both, autopilot engage, and this is going to do, oh, it did release. Huh. Sometimes it doesn't. Make sure again. Okay. Oh, it worked today. Flight rudders move against AP, just did. Autopilot off, good. 1800 RPM. Close enough. Left magneto check. Less than 100. Both magnetos. Back to where it was. Right magneto check. Less than 100, less than 50 difference between them. Check. Excellent. Vacuum. Check. Oil pressure. Check. Oil temperature. Check. Ammeter. Check. Annunciator panel. Clear. Engine at idle. At 650 RPM, no stalls. There we go. There we go. Throttle back to 1000 RPMs. For takeoff, radio is set. Avionics are set. GPS mode set. Transponder, we'll get that when we get to the... Okay, let's taxi. We'll finish off the rest of this before takeoff checklist once we get to the runway.
Naples ground, generic November 137 Tango Kilo with Kilo ready to taxi IFR.
Generic November 137 Tango Kilo taxi to in hold short of runway tree 2 via taxiway. Contact tower on 128.5 when ready.
Having to give a lot of left rudder here. Got a nice 15 knot crosswind coming in. That's a really bad.
Short runway tree to using taxiway, generic 7 Tango Kilo.
This is a really bad runway to be taking off with this kind of wind, but oh well. It is what it is. Oh, here comes this guy on final here. I'm going a little bit fast. And I will switch to tower frequency. And then put in my departure frequency, which 124, 125. There we go. Departure frequency is set. Now request clearance.
ExitJet 574 heavy exit runway when able.
I'm probably going to be stuck waiting
Naples
here for a
Tower, Cessna
while.
Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot at runway tree 2 ready for takeoff IFR to OPA Locka.
Set transponder to altitude.
Oscar Whiskey
Lights.
Tango Foxtrot cleared for takeoff runway tree 2.
It's okay. Confirm.
Cleared for takeoff runway tree 2 Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Before takeoff, avionics set. Have GPS, transponder, autopilot, elevator trim. They're all good. Flaps. Make sure they're off. None required here. We're good. Just pay more attention and try to hold my center line. That's going to be fun with this crosswind. Into the wind. And there we go. Pedal to the metal. Yeah. Airspeed is live.
620 Mike Victor 12 miles southeast inbound,
And
visual
rotate.
runway tree
Wow.
2 approach.
That wasn't my smoothest takeoff ever, I have to say.
620 Mike Victor Naples Tower. Cleared visual runway tree 2 approach. Altimeter tree 0.01 wind 215 to 25.
Pretty stiff breeze I was fighting there.
Cleared visual runway tree 2 approach. Generic 0 Mike Victor.
Planes feel weird for some reason. Okay, 400 feet. Going to my turn.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot contact departure on 124.125.
Going to 124.125 Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Departure Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is at 700 feet, climbing 7,000 feet.
Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot departure. Continue to SORTL as planned. Altimeter tree 0.01.
3001. Get myself a climb speed of around 75 knots. And we're en route. It's really beautiful. I got the Naples scenery pack from the InSim marketplace. Makes for a really nice airport. I fly out of here quite often. I do a lot of flying in just around Florida in general. I mean, Florida, Bahamas, the Keys. I also have Key West, Orlando Executive. I don't have Miami. I rarely land in Miami. I mean, I fly to Cessna a lot, so, you know, large international airports with a small GA is not really a good idea for the most part. It's okay. So en route climb, let's see. So we basically already did all this stuff from takeoff. Airspeed 70 to 85. Currently about 80-ish, which is fine. Throttle is full, mixture room, engine gauges, everything is check. Taxi and landing lights off above 1,000 feet, which we are. Mixture lean above 3,000. So, okay, we're good. Less wind up here than there was on the ground. Only 10 knots here. There we go, nice climb. Lean it out a little bit. Increase my trim a little bit faster climb. I'm gonna wait till I get at or near cruise altitude, and then I'm gonna kick in the autopilot. I like to fly it up to cruise altitude. I kind of dread the landing though with this new bug with World Update 3 where there's double the effect on flaps that there should be. So it makes planes extremely floaty. I haven't tried the Mooney yet since the patch, but that's a pretty floaty plane to start with, and it's very much like that in real life from what I understand. So but now, wow. Okay, let's increase map range. 35 miles. Quite a bit of traffic all around here. Florida can be a pretty busy airspace around South Florida. Message. Shouldn't be too much radio work to be done here for the next few miles. I do love this plane. Pretty much flies itself once you get it set up nicely. I love being able to fly with these panels. This DIY Knobster I built is excellent. I love it. Combined with Air Manager, I have my whole control. Once we get up to altitude here, we'll do a quick little rundown of the setup.
Approach generic Golf Alpha Juliet 881 is at 2,900 feet, climbing 4,500 feet.
Generic Golf Alpha Juliet 881 approach. Continue as planned. Altimeter tree 0.01.
Yes, I'm one of those nasty vapors. My goal was to create what's essentially a mouse-free cockpit. And I am at that point now with this plane, with the Mooney M20 and the G1000 C172. I guess if I had a setup for the 152, I never really fly it, but that would also be completely mouse free. And several of the small G1000 planes, like the Cirrus SR22, the Bonanza, and stuff, are completely mouse free as well. Actually, if I just in Air Manager, if I
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, you are 72 miles west. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 30 approach.
really 72 miles out, and they're assigning me.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 30.
I didn't expect that for another 30 or 40 miles or so. Needed a little bit more. Where was I? Oh yeah, and a couple of the other planes, if I consider my Stream Deck in there, I'm also mouse free with them. There are still some that SDK doesn't expose the settings required yet. Hopefully we'll get there one day though, because I would love to never have to touch my mouse in order to fly my planes. I'm almost there now. Obviously, excuse me, I am on this one. I guess I should have set my autopilot ahead of time. I'm just going to VS it up the rest of the way now. Let it go out by itself at this point. So yeah, like a quick little breakdown of what I have happening here. Obviously I have my Honeycomb Alpha. I have my Xbox controller that I have attached to it with Velcro so that it's removable, so that I can use it if I need to use it for gaming or whatnot. So it gives me my free look. I had other functions programmed to it, but unfortunately the update cleared my Xbox controller layout and it overwrote my custom profile rather than just resetting me to the default. It basically made my custom profile the default profile. So, and I haven't gotten around to setting it up yet. This is like the first day that I sit down since the update that I actually have time to fly it. So I have over here, I have my Logitech switch panel. Over here, my Logitech multi-panel. Down here, obviously, Logitech throttle quadrant. Here, let me get myself leaned out.
Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, contact Miami Center Center on 134.75.
13475 or Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
134.75 for Cessna Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Miami Center Cessna Charlie Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot 7,100 feet.
Southwest 22 heavy contact Miami Center on 132.4.
So yeah, where was I? Okay, my throttle quadrant.
Oscar Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Miami Center continue as planned.
3001.
0.01.
I have my Logitech rudder pedals underneath. This is all mounted to a next level racing flight stand. I've mounted like a shelf across, which I've screwed these two onto. I've screwed this on underneath to the actual flight stand.
Climb and maintain 2,000 feet altimeter 30.01.
Usually radio is pretty quiet here until I get closer to Miami. So anyway, so this way my whole setup is movable. I can get it out of the way. I have my USB hub and other connections back here. It's basically a two cable to disconnect, and I can move this out of the way and use my desk. I have this little wireless keyboard on the side that I use for while I'm sitting there, because my main keyboard back there is not accessible. So right here is kind of the star of the show. I went completely Russ Barlow on this one here. I'm going to turn the radio down in your hearing. Oh. So I went all Russ Barlow. It's the Wymaxit 15.6-inch touchscreen. Great little monitor. Not very expensive, all things considered. Full 1080p. Great color. Works fantastic. I bought since the Knobster is like out of stock at the moment, I bought the PropWash Sims dual encoder. And I just built my own. I have an Arduino Nano in here, and this is a little electronics project box that I had. That I bought a 5-pack a couple of years ago for like $10 because I needed one for something else, and I just used what I had. So this controls all my Air Manager interfaces. Over here, I have an old 5th gen iPad attached to the top of my autopilot box with a couple of 3D printed stands that I got a buddy of mine to print for me. It's connected wirelessly to my computer, so it's essentially a monitor for my computer. Wireless, using the application called Space Desk. It's a completely free application, runs on computers, on tablets, and you can extend your... So these two tablets have become monitors on my computer. So on this one here, I have obviously my GNS 530. Down here, this is an older Lenovo Android tablet. Piece of junk, really, slow as slow can be, but it's also connected using Space Desk, and it's a perfect touch interface. It works absolutely as you could want it to. And over here, I have my my Elgato Stream Deck. This used to be my main input method prior to this, to getting these other things as part of my setup. But now I still use it for some planes and for some functionality, but mostly the Knobster has replaced all of that. So it's I'm quite happy with that. This makes for a really, really nice setup. I have all the switches that I could possibly want. I'm using the 3, well, technically 6 switches on the bottom of my throttle quadrant as well. Right now I have all my switches on my honeycomb yoke disabled because of the bug where it will jump you by thousands of feet and 10 degrees on your heading bug. So once Asobo released the patch for that, I've got an idea for some of these switches. Some things like what I have here right now for my main fuel valve will go there. My alt static pressure will go there. Probably I will put my brakes on here rather than here, giving me more screen real estate to play with. So yeah, all in all, this is a pretty good setup. So I guess that's pretty much it. You guys have seen a whole... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go through. We'll go through here a little bit. This is just like if you had a physical bezel going by. Touch your buttons. Touch this one. Use my Knobster. To select the inner knob. Just like you would on the real thing. Menu off. For radio, the outer gives you your megahertz, inner gives you your kilohertz. Like everything that you could do with a mouse on the screen can now be done with one touch here and the Knobster. So all the different chapters and pages of the GPS. Message mode, airspace, yeah, coming up. So yeah, this is really quite awesome. TCAS mode. I do love this thing. And same thing was you know, touch the transponder, switch modes, which I shouldn't be doing while I'm flying. Same thing, I have my audio panel, so I can switch between my channels. A few of these things don't work, but the important ones, which is COM1, COM2, and Mic 1, Mic 2, work. Or I don't know if this one works. No, it doesn't enable both simultaneously, but I can hear the... I can enable DME ADF, nav1.2 to get the Morse code from any VOR that I'm on. I'm not locked onto anything right now. Oh, I am. Let's see. There we go. There just happened to be a VOR on that channel. So the important stuff all works. There's really not a whole lot here that doesn't. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And while I'm doing this, I'm scanning all my instruments and... going into some clouds here. Over the Everglades. There's I-75, aka Alligator Alley. I would love to actually go there and just drive it just to see like alligators on the side of the road. That'd be cool. Well, anyway, I guess that'll be it for now. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. This video is going to get way too long if I go through the entire flight. So, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers. You have a great day.